So, all right, part two of coming out. So, I really should start at the beginning. So, obviously, I realised that I needed to do the deed. I don't know what else to say, really. So I decided I needed to sleep with a woman. So now you have to find a woman, don't you? It's not that easy, is it? To just like, anyway, it's not. I'll get to the point. So the first woman I slept with, firstly, I had to find one, didn't I? But also you need to realise who you're attracted to. And I've got to say, the first woman I slept with looked more like a man than a woman. And I think that was my transitional period. All right. And I'm not taking anything away from her, because obviously she was willing. That sounds terrible. But obviously you've got to find somebody that you can do this with, haven't you? So that was the first one. But she did look more like a man than a woman. And I think that was me finding the right one, transitioning from coming from men, going to women. And you know, it's quite difficult, because flirting with women is quite hard. You need to learn. They're a whole different kettle of fish. Flirting with a man and a woman are two very, very, very different things. Can I add to this a minute? And when women flirt with you as well, it's really hard. Oh right, okay, it's not really hard. Maybe I made it really hard, I don't know. But what is all that noise? There's a lot of noise going on. It's the dustbin men is what it is. Okay, dustbin men have been, thanks. But it's just different, flirting with men and women and men flirting with you. I think you know with men, don't you, more so. Men are, they're just a much easier breed to read. That's quite hard to say, breed to read. Yeah, they just are flirting with women, flirting with men. I think are two different things. And I also need you all to know that I think that if I said to people now that I struggle to flirt with people, I think people would be outraged that that's even a thing. Because I think I flirt with everybody now. I just can't help it. I just like it. I like it. I don't mean it sexually. It's just a part of who I am. Just a part of who I am, really. But it is. Yeah, it is very, very different. It's like someone's just messaged me. I don't mean to stop when that happens, but I had to read it. So, first one was more like a man than a woman, and that wasn't her fault. It was just I needed that to make me realise then where I wanted to go. So first of all, it was, I needed a woman, just needed to find the right one. So going out clubbing as a new lesbian in London was very interesting. As I said, flirting with women I found hard. When women flirted with me, I didn't even realise they were doing it. And the people I was with were saying, she was flirting with you. And I'd be like, after I walked away, going, really? Well, why did I miss that? How did I miss that? And also I was much bigger then, back in those days, you know, before I lost my weight it was. And so I found it quite hard to think that anybody would be attracted to me, let alone men, women, whatever. So I just found it, I found it hard, found it difficult. But then I got in my stride and I was off. Once I was off, I was all right. But it's a whole new ball game. And then as a lesbian, you find out what sort you are. This is going to blow all of your straight women's minds right now. So you've got 3 different types. You've got, right, let me go back a minute. Let me step back a minute, because obviously I needed to find what I was. And I mean by that, you're either a butch lesbian, a tomboyish lesbian, or a feminine lesbian. That's pretty much them. Pretty much there are others other than that, but that's pretty much one. And you need to find which one you are. And I've always been quite tomboy-y. So I was going to be one of the latter two. One of the first two. I was never going to be a feminine lesbian, was I? Look at me. Look at me. Lipstick lesbian. That's not me, is it? There's no lipstick on there. I wouldn't even know what to do with it. If you give me a lipstick. So you need to find out which one of them you are and where you fit, really. Where you fit. I'm making this much more complicated than it is, but these are all things that you have to go through in your coming out period. And then there are 3 different types of lesbian in the bedroom. So there's a top, there's a bottom, and there's a switch. So let me tell you what they all mean. So a top doesn't mean your position in the bedroom. It means obviously, so you've got a top, which is the active person in the relationship. Then you've got a bottom, which means the submissive person in the relationship. And then you've got a switch, which means you like to do both. So if you're a top and a top, that don't really go together, does it? If you're a bottom and a bottom, that don't really go together either, does it? If you're both switches, that's okay, because you both do everything, innit? You both like a bit of that and a bit of that. But you've got to find where you are in oh God, honestly, I'm finding it really hard to talk to. If we were one-to-one, you can ask me anything you want and I'll be as rude as you like, but I'm finding it quite hard on here to be like that. So which one do you think I am? Am I a top? Am I a bottom? Am I a switch? Answers below. All right, thank you very much. I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you which one I am. I'm not going to. But I am one of those 3 is what I am. But you need to find out which one you are, aren't you, really? So coming out is not just as easy as just to tell the world and that's all right and that's okay. But telling the world for me was, as I said before, a really big deal, and it was something I had to deal with long and hard, to be fair. No pun intended. Oh, goodness me. This is getting really, really tough, isn't it? But I have to tell you, once I'd done it, I finally had found my way in life. And I really think that coming out at 26 was when my life started, if I'm honest. And that sounds quite overwhelming, doesn't it? But I think it was. And I finally found what I was looking for. I feel like there's song titles coming in all the way throughout this. But it just did for me. It just did. And it took me all that time. And I so wish I'd realised before. I also so wish that I'd lost weight before I did in my life. I think if I'd have found both of those things, then my life would have been completely different. But then that wouldn't make me the person that I am today, would it really? I wouldn't be as funny if I hadn't been the way I was, because I found very early on at school, to be fair, that I needed to be funny. I needed to be funny because if I wasn't funny, no one really talked to me. Because, like, being a fat bird at school, no one really speaks to you when you're the fat bird at school. They put you in goal at hockey because no one to get the bleeding ball past you. And, yeah, no one really speaks to you being a fat bird. But, anyway, so I had to get funny. Funny was my thing. That comes from being overweight. But I've gone off of the lesbian thing. But, yeah, see, when I first came out, I was big. But I had funny. So that was okay. I could deal with it in those ways. But coming out, it was such a massive part of my life, and now it really means nothing. And anybody that's coming out now, yeah, it's great. It's a really good thing, isn't it? So, what one am I? A top, a bottom, or a switch? I want you to leave all of your answers there. And, you know, I've been with my wife now for 20 years. So, I'm in a really great relationship that, you know, to be fair, she's had to go through a lot. We've been through a lot together, that would be good to say, but I love her immensely. And the fact that I was able to marry her was with thanks to millions and millions of people that have lived before me and allowed me to do that, all right? Because it's really, really good. But to any young lesbians coming out right now, good luck, enjoy. It's going to be a blast. That's all I got to say, all right? It is going to be a blast. Enjoy yourself along the way. Don't do anything stupid. Look after yourself and enjoy.